Let me share my screen. Okay. So, are you able to see my screen or how it is? Are you able to see my screen? Team?
I mean, it's not yet shared.
Okay, let me try it. How about now?
Yeah, now we can.
Okay. So, like, you members are attended like for last previous two classes, right? Or like you gone through the videos and you are attending.
This is my first class. I mean, I haven't attended any of the demo. This is the first demo that I am attending.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. And what about Bharat? And what about remaining ones?
I am
Bharat?
also attending the first class, sir.
So yeah, for this side, Pranjal, and I'm also attending the first class. This is the first class I'm part of this session.
Okay. Prithvi, like I hope you are attended already, right? And Venkatesh?
Uh, yes, Bhanu, I have attended the first class
Okay.
like a few days back. Mm.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Before election, right? We attended that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Like, can you give the quick introduction, like Divya and remaining with that, like Varasi? Varasi, I hope she's already attended. Okay. Divya, can you give me the quick introduction about you? Like, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm Divya and I'm working in, I have 7 years of experience and so my previous organizations were mostly into the banking fields, and now I'm working with the Big Four company, one of the Big Four company, and I'm working for the banking. I mean, banking organization. So that's my client, and I don't have any experience into ITGC. I was into TPRM before, and um, the organization gave me opportunity into. Uh, right now, I'm currently working on kind of ITGC, but mostly into it's into a finance operation and controls. So I mean, same like ITGC, we also conduct the walkthroughs and we do the audit, internal audit. We do the sampling and everything, and we report it to the management. That's how my work right now is. But I want to more get I want an overview about how IT AC control works, and I'm not aware of this access controls and change management control. So I want a depth of I mean end to end of ITGC, because I'm looking more over for ITGC now. So because most of the companies now looking for ITGC and SOX more than the TPRM, very less jobs for the TPRM. So that's why I wanna get into this learning or training.
And like, what process like that you are audited previously? Is it related to financial
Right
reconciliation?
now,
Yeah, right now.
okay, currently I do a control evaluation, and for uh, the financial company or the banking company. The banking company, I evaluate the controls whether they're working as they're designed or not. I mean, we test the controls. We
What
conduct a
kind of
walkthrough with the.
processes those are?
Sorry,
Like, what kind of process those are?
process in the sense.
Like, you mean like is it related to some kind of financial reconciliation process, or is
Um,
there any some application like you working in banking, right? Is it retail banking process that you are auditing? What it was?
Okay, right now I'm working for CIB and some of the enterprise functions controls, where it has like business generating controls. Like there will be a transactional controls that I work on, and also business. I mean, profit generating controls. We have some. I mean, business controls kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Those controls I work on, and mostly I worked into CIB, where there's a transaction that goes on, right? Like about when banks clients taken interest, and we see all that. Mostly the banking related controls I worked on. So they use the applications also, right, in the banking sector. So those applications were also being tested. So I worked both. I worked on all the controls, like automated, semi-automated, and manual controls as well.
Oh,
Not
good.
specific process, not specific controls I work on. I work on all the controls that the banking organizations does. So to my I didn't get any of the controls where this access related controls. I haven't worked on any of the access related controls and change management, mostly into the finance operation controls that I worked on. So I want to gain knowledge on the other controls as well.
Okay, got it. Okay. And what about Bharat?
Hello, sir. Myself, Bharat.
Okay, Bharat. Hi,
I am
Bharat.
a fresher. I have no experience. I completed my MBA Finance in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I
2023.
have yes, sir. In October month, I completed my MBA.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I have no experience, sir, in any company, in any organization. I didn't join.
Okay, that's a different thing. Like generally, these class mostly like experienced people will attend. Okay. But anyway,
Okay.
he'll get all the information whatever they require for the interview platform. Okay. So and Swati is also a new one, or she's already had it. Sweta,
Yes, hi sir.
Sweta, your voice is very low.
Yes, hi sir. No, audible sir.
Sorry,
It's
Sweta.
audible sir.
Sir, it's sir only for experienced persons only. This control, this course will be good, sir.
Like any you go for any technology, like definitely it will be for first priority will be experienced people, right?
Sir,
You
is
go
it
for any technology, you go for data science, you go for cloud, you go for cyber security, or you go for any of the things, Salesforce, ServiceNow, SAP.
Hello?
So,
Hello?
yeah, Madam Sweta, tell me.
Yes, I have experience in production support, sir. L1 production support, SQL and Unix regarding it. So
Okay.
2 years I have experience, and after that I took a break, career break, because
Okay.
of kids born. That's what I'm looking for a new change. So I want to jump into with no, there is where there is no coding part. There
Okay.
in that way I want to jump in there. So I saw this thing, this part IT series. I contacted the person. So he said it's a communication. If it's good, you can get into this. The person said. So I want to get into this. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Like you have an experience in incident management, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Like you people will go with P1 and P2 tickets, right? Like so this process also we will audit here. Okay. So I'll
Okay.
get to the all those things and change
Okay, sir.
management if you have any idea.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Yeah, that's good. Then, like, okay, that's fine. So,
Yeah.
okay, like,
Yes.
it's anybody new, like, other than this?
Uh,
Okay, yeah,
hi.
yeah.
So myself, shall I start?
Yes, yes.
Okay, myself Pranjal, and I'm working with one of the big fintech company based out of basically it's a US bank, and I've been working associated for past 3 years. My overall experience is around 11 plus years. I have been working in terms of my professional experience. I have been working into several roles, be as an individual contributor, be as a lead, a team manager. So currently, I'm working as a SPOC for the risk management team in my current organization.
Okay,
So under the risk, I have been given an opportunity to learn about the ISO 27001 as a part of the cybersecurity or the security mechanisms to be implemented across the teams. So that is the one area which I'm focusing upon, the cybersecurity area. So be it the CISSP and ISO 27001.
okay,
So the reason why I wish to get into this role, the auditing, so probably as far as my experience, I have seen people after certain years of experience, get into the audit roles, and majorly big fours are the one who hires the most this audit kind of a role for SOC and GDPR kind of role. So I just want to utilize my current tenure into a banking industry to get a hands-on experience and convert this role into a real-time experience and get to a better opportunity.
Where are you from? Like, where are you staying?
Presently, I'm based out in Delhi NCR.
Delhi itself. That's fine. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Like your name, I forgot. Okay, anyway, here I can
Pranjal.
see
My name is Pranjal Agrawal. Pranjal.
Agarwal. Okay, Pranjal Agarwal. Okay. Okay, Pranjal Agarwal. Okay, so that's fine. Like it's an add-on for you. Like if you can, you're already in the risk team. Like as a risk Spock directly. Okay, so you have
So
that.
So my primary goal is to identify the risk within my team and work upon mitigating those risks. Be in the technical area. The risk can be in any kind of a thing. So the risk can be in the code deployment. The risk can be in the part of any kind of a phishing or any kind of a way the intruders can get into the system. So since it's a banking system, so they have so much of regulations lying across the system. So I need to assure that the regulations are being followed up. That is my job is.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. That's fine. Like apart from that, like ISO 27001, that like you have to follow like as a banking or financial. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have given, since I completely moved from the technical role, so they have given me an opportunity to learn 27001 this year and to be a part of the ISO team or the CISSP team, which majorly look for this risk assessment within the organization. So we have a completely GRC. This comes under the GRC.
Yes.
So we have a GRC team where they want to, if I completely obtain the skills, then they'll move me into the GRC part. That is the main goal is. Probably I'm not sure. There are several commitments from the management, but I'm not sure how much they will fulfill. Probably my approach is to utilize my current experience of my banking domain and to look forward for a big four opportunity.
That's a good idea. Because like you already have that risk exposure, and the remaining part was like auditing part.
So my overall experience around 12 plus years. So past 3 years I'm currently associated with bank, and it's a banking industry, and I can utilize this part as my SOC and GDPR because they have some certain regulations which need to be followed as a part of a risk.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. We also discussed that part majorly. The risk is the first one. Like if you have an asset, we have the risk, something like that. Okay. But anyway, like I'll give the exposure on the remaining whatever the standards are there, like what are the compliances are there, what are the standards are there, like whatever the frameworks are there, like that will be fit into this. Okay.
Sorry, I'll interrupt you in between. Just a second. I just want to include one more thing. If you can certainly put it into your agenda, is all about the certifications, because how certifications can be cleared up and how we can approach towards clearing the certifications. Please include that as well.
Yeah, sure. Okay, Gaurav, like I'll include that as well. Okay, I'll have a discussion with you, like regarding the certification. Apart from this, okay, that's fine. Okay, guys. Like so, I can say okay. We have all have the discussion. Okay, so if anybody missed it, let's raise the hand. If not, like I'll proceed with the what we have discussed in the past two classes. Basically, it's first start with like introduction of everyone. Okay, and because I have to understand like what exactly their requirement, and whether like I can able to cover it in the like my course course content. If not, like so I have to add some more, and it depends upon the like type of the people, like they are in, we have to uh, 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 we have to end up with the course content. Okay, so that's the thing. So yesterday and last two classes, I just started with the discussion with basic thing was why are we going for an auditing? We are going for an auditing because there is a risk for there. Why we have a risk? Like we have an asset. That's the reason we are having a risk. Okay, and so what exactly our work? Okay, and what else the course saying that it's ITGC, and so it's what is this ITGC and what is this SOX, and either other standards are there, any other compliances are there, or any kind of other frameworks are there that we have to follow, and what exactly our work. Okay, and so what exactly the different risks that are associated in the IT. Generally we call auditing as a CA related, what we call it as chartered accounts job, right? So auditing part is some kind of chartered account job, right? Then where we into the, as IT guys, why we are into the auditing, so why it is important, and why we have to consider it as a career, and what about the future growth of these SOX or ITGC or any auditing related to IT, information technology or information communication technology, ICT. So all the things we discussed in the previous classes. Okay, so what we initially discussed was we are as a C, people who coming from the background of CA, chartered account background, they'll generally do the auditing of the financial statements. So those people do the financial auditing for any of the organization, because why we are doing the auditing, there are some scams that happened in the previously, and to mitigate that, or instead of we have to protect the investors money as an organization or as a government, so based on that, a government was created some standards or created some kind of compliances. So whatever the organization that was listed, or whatever the organization that was private limited organizations are there, all these organizations should have to follow all these compliances, or all these what kind of controls are there, compliance or standards are there. Okay, so basically, suppose if we are here in India, we have RBI guidelines will be there. There are SEBI guidelines will be there. Suppose if any organization going to merge or any kind of whatever the share they are selling, okay, they have to follow some kind of guidelines from the RBR, guidelines from the SEBI, or guidelines from the what we call it as NSE. So these things have to follow. Otherwise, they will do some kind of fraud inside. That's the reason auditing will be happen. So previously, many people thinking that it was related to chartered account job, and they will verify the financial statements or whatever the balance sheets are there, and whatever the profit and loss statements will be there, and whatever the general ledgers will be there. They will validate it, that based on that, whether they will confirm whatever the profit they are showing is really correct, or really correct, or they are just doing some kind of bluff. Okay, so that's the reason they initially started the auditing. Later, they everybody came to know that organizations, they are working in a different things, if you take a bank, or if you take a manufacturing domain, or if you take the pharmacy domain, or if you take any kind of whatever, automobile industry. Okay, so retail marketing, all the things have to involved in the data. Okay, so if you go with a bank, right, the banks will provide the credit cards and debit cards. Okay, so we have to protect the card data. Okay, and suppose if I go with any hospital or any kind of pharmacy related things, right? So health insurance or something like that. Then we have to, what we have to do, we have to protect their personal information, or some kind of any disease related information. So otherwise, it's they're saying that they put some kind of compliances, and based on that, whether they're following or not, we have to verify as an auditor. But coming to IT, because whatever the data was there, or whatever the sales there, marketing was there, whatever the profits and loss statements are there, all these they put it in. They all the data they are putting in a, like either SAP systems or Salesforce system or ServiceNow system, like any BPM systems are there. All these are holding it, the data which they are having it in the internet. Okay, so that's the reason. Apart from that, their financial statements, the people must have to follow, or the organizations must have to follow the compliances related to the information technology as well, or the organizations must have to do the auditing in the perspective of IT related controls, or IT related information. Okay, nothing but information technology or information communication technology. So that's the reason, like previously, like they are not focusing on that information, and they're auditing of the information or auditing of the information related assets. Okay, but now the people, like the organizations are coming into the realization that we have to do the auditing in the financial, and apart from that, like we have to do the auditing in information technology or information communication technology. Okay, so if you go with the manufacturing, we know what are the assets are there. If you go with the insurance, we know what are the assets are there. Like coming to the information technology, what exactly the assets? Because once the asset was there, then there may be a chance of risk, and before occurring the risk, we have to define the controls. We have to define the controls. Okay, so for that, like so we have something like what kind of assets are there, hardware assets, what are the hardware assets are there. So what are the physical devices and what are the computers? Generally, we will call it in the IT term as endpoints. Okay, whatever the desktops and what are the laptops and what are the tabs and all these things, we call it as endpoints, not the computers exactly. And there are servers will be there where our applications will be deployed, and our applications will store the data in the servers. And there are network equipment related to firewall, router, switches, and we call it as virtual private networks. Okay, and the private networks and public network and all these infrastructure and things, and whatever the storage devices are there, all the things we call it as hardware assets. Okay, and there are software assets will be there, and whatever the operating system will be there, and whatever the business application that we are using. Suppose if I joined in an organization, whether it is a manufacturing organization or whether it is a hospital, or we call it as like insurance. So whatever the organization I'll join, generally I have a basic thing, like I have the benefit management systems will be available. I have leave management, and I have insurance policy adhered to us. And there is something like once I deployed in the business, like I have to work on some of the applications to give the service to the customers, right? So all these business applications, and what are the operating systems are there. Okay, and majorly we are working in a data, right? What are the different kinds of data sets are there, and we generally information which should be processed, or information should be transferred, and information should be stored. Okay, so organizations include the databases, different databases like Mango database, like Salesforce database, ServiceNow database, and SAP database will be there, and all these different databases. And nowadays, like cloud database services are there, like Azure Cloud, or data Azure Data Factory database, and all these data sources which are there, and files which we will transfer through the mails, or which we'll share it in the shared drive, the files which we will share it in the SharePoint. Okay, and what are the documents which is related to the organization, and those documents which will will put it in either in SharePoint or through the mails, and what are the emails that we are sending, some of the confidential emails. Okay, so all the things we have to protect. Okay, so otherwise, like if the mail was if the mail was hacked, right? If the mail server was hacked, then our company secrets will be going into the air. Okay, and just because of that, like so our whatever the secrets which are there, whatever the intellectual properties, or whatever the trust the people have on us, so that may be simply like loss, right? Okay, that other leading to the business loss. Okay, and what are the networking assets? Like I already defined, like routers, switches, and wireless points, and whoever the working in our organization also we will consider as asset. Like we will get the risk through the either human resources or whatever the network assets which are there, and whatever the data assets which are there, whatever the software assets which are there, whatever the hardware assets which are there, there may be a chance like we will get a risk through all these kind of assets, which is related to the information technology or information communication technology. Okay, so so that is the reason like in our entire like course, like we have to protect the assets. We have to protect the assets. That is the reason like we have a controls defined, and these controls are already in place. And what we have to do was like, so how this control really protecting the asset, or is this control really mitigating the risk? So is this control which they defined, okay, or they really implemented or not? Okay, so based on that, like we will do the auditing. Okay, I'll tell you the best example. Like so, why auditing was mandatory for us with some example. Okay, so like suppose I have an organization, Ford was there. Okay, I have an organization, Ford was there, and this major business was automobile industry. Okay, they are the one of major car manufacturers. So what Ford exactly will focus? Ford will exactly focus on how to build their cars and how to sell their cars. Okay, or the automobiles. Okay, so that's what their actual business. And what they will do, like because whatever the sales was happening, that was going into the Salesforce system, and whatever the enterprise resource planning was there, and what was the inventory, what was the vendors are there, like all these things will be managed by ERP system. What are the resources are there? So all will be maintained by the ERP system, which we generally consider it as SAP systems. And these SAP systems and the Salesforce system and whatever the website hosting and whatever the bill generation and everything, they're maintaining it in a like IT, like we call what are the assets that we had discussed previously, right? So what are the data assets are there, software assets are there, like physical assets are there. So all these things like they will not maintain, because generally because Ford was major business was automobile, and what they will do, they will search in the they will search in the globally, like who are giving the best IT services. Okay, so who are giving the best IT services, better I can outsource that IT services part, right? Instead of Ford doing that, what they will do, they will outsource the services to either something like Capgemini or Accenture kind of organizations, right? So, so automobile part they will handle, and whatever the financial things they will handle, and whatever the IT related part they will outsource it to Capgemini. They will outsource it to Capgemini. So, so this organization, so this if somebody want to do the if somebody want to do the auditing for Ford, so what they will do, like automobile company Ford will be auditing. So for that, like some external auditors will come to the Ford, and they will take all their financial statements and all their balance sheets and all their ledgers, and whatever the inventory which are there. Because suppose if I define the financial status of the organization, that will include inventory also, and that will include whatever the invoices which are already there, and the payment that they have to receive, and all the things will be there. Whatever the ledger were there, and whatever the debts are there with the different banks, and whatever the assets are there with them, and all the things will be taken into consideration for their financial status. So once the CA or whatever the auditor will comes into force, they will verify all these things, like whatever the debts are there, whatever the loans are there, like whatever the assets are there, and whatever the inventory system, and what are how many objects are there in the inventory system. All these things they will validate, and they will do the auditing. And once they do that, they will definitely ask for like where these data you guys are storing, where this data you guys are storing, and how are you managing your IT services? How are you managing your IT services? then what they will do, what the four people will do, will tell that for the auditing team, we are not maintaining these IT services. What we did was like we are outsourced these IT services to one of the reputed organization, Capgemini, in the IT service industry. Okay, so if you want to do any kind of auditing, I'll connect with the Capgemini, and Capgemini will show the reports, all the reports or all the documents, so that like whatever the auditing, which includes financial plus IT, right? Financial auditing plus information technology auditing will be complete. So what they will do, they will take the reports from the Capgemini regarding the services they are providing. Okay, regarding the services they are providing. So what they will do, they'll ask Capgemini to share the reports, whether it was already audited by some other people, or if they are not audited by some other organization, service auditors. We call it as generally service auditors. Thus we call it independent auditor. Sometimes we call it a auditor, service auditors, or with external auditors for the Capgemini. Okay, so because Ford has to submit their audit report, Ford had to submit the audit report, and that audit report must contain financial auditing and information technology or information communication technology auditing. And the financial auditing will be done in the Ford itself. And whatever the services, whatever the IT services that they are outsourced to Capgemini, it will be done at the Capgemini end. So that's the reason, like before the external auditor coming and auditing this, the Capgemini will hire the service auditor, or Capgemini will request the independent auditing body. They will come and they will do the service auditing, and they will publish their reports to the court. And whenever the external auditor will come, they will show their reports. If they accepted that report, then it's good. They will the auditing will be good. If they are not, if they are not ready to accept it, then they will ask the Capgemini to show their whatever the services they are doing, they're giving the service to the Ford, and they will involve in the auditing. Okay, so that's how it should be there. So that means that whenever Ford was getting the audit, means getting audited, means it was audited by auditing in the Ford, and it was auditing in their IT services organization, including. Okay, so that is the reason what they will do. So Capgemini is a service provider company, and Ford was service receiver company. Service is providing by the Capgemini because it was outsourced IT services by the Ford, and service receiving company we call it as Ford here. So that is the reason. Okay, one simple thing was this, we call it as service organization. Organization. This we call it as service organization because it was providing the service. We call it as service organization. Will ask our service auditors or external auditor to do the auditing, and that reports we call it as, based on the different compliances, they will get the different reports based on the different compliances or different standards. They will get the different reports, and those reports should be provided to the Ford so that they can show it to the external auditor. Okay, so that's how the IT's, like IT or ICT auditing will be happen. Okay, so these are the basic funda, and whatever the auditing classes which will run, this will run on this basic funda of like what exactly the IT services, and what kind of their services, and what the service auditor will do. Okay, so this is what the auditing process will start like that, related to the IT service auditing. I already informed, already confirmed, like what are the IT related assets are there, and what are those IT assets, and the risks associated. I'll confirm later. And these are the different compliances. This one is ITGC, like ITGC means IT general control. Whatever the general or regular controls or regular IT services that they are providing, right? General IT service means what? They are going with like support of their services and development of their services, that we call it as a change management or incident management, and we call it as backup and operations, and we call it as BCP, business continuity plan or business continuity management. These we generally consider it as IT general control. And other one is like IT application control. I told you, right? There are different business applications for this, and suppose if I'm working on like some kind of SAP P2P process, then I have to focus on P2P related application, and I have to focus on particularly that security management. Okay, so this is what IT general control and IT application control. And very fundamental was the ISO standard. We call it as Information Security Management System. So this was very fundamental. Whichever the organization which running, okay. So first they have to follow ISO standards. There are different standards are there based on their business, and the IT related standard is related to 27001. And suppose if it is a manufacturing organization, they will follow ISO 9001. ISO 9001. That is for quality management system. So whichever manufacturing organization will have, like they'll follow that 9001 ISO standard also. But as a part of IT related controls or IT related compliance or standards, we have to focus on ISO 27001. Generally, we call it as Information Security Management System. And if it is ISO 9001, we call it as a Quality Management System. But currently, quality management is not in our area of focusing. But if you learn it, that's good thing as well. But right now, like we are focusing on information technology or information communication technology related auditing, which include related processes, which include related controls. So this one ISO 27001 is very fundamental. The first compliance or first standard we will follow, like any of the organization will follow, which is having a simple, very simple storage or internet usage, or their application was in the internet. So they must have to follow ISO 27001 if they are providing the, like if they are a listed company or if they are private limited company, any of these things. Okay, so that is like this one is the fundamental. Generally we call it as standard. And apart from that, like SOX, this one is for majority of the financial organization and what are the banking related organizations, and any kind of financial related transaction involvement is there, then we have to include the SOX reports as well. SOX means Subbunny Soxley. There two members are there, and their we call it a thesis or their regulation. Okay, so this one has to be followed by the all of the US based organizations. The SOX will not be there in India. Suppose if any organization which is there in India and they're doing the services to the India, then SOX should not be applicable. Okay, SOX should not be applicable. If you go with ISO 27001, it is applicable for world, every ITGC, entire world, ITAC, entire world. But coming to SOX, it's majorly for IT based, like US based banking and financial uh, organization that will follow SOX. And something like GDPR. GDPR is something like general data regulation and protection, or general data protection and regulation, or general data protection and regulation. Okay. Regarding to continue the class, I am in mechanical engineering, 7.5 years of experience. Question 843. Okay. Question, can I have a number? Okay, sure. Okay, that's fine. I'll call you. I'll intimate you. Okay, that's fine. So what I'm discussing right now was, uh, people may think that like I am attending the ITGC class or I am attending the SOX class. What do you mean by ITGC? ITGC is one of the complaints or one of the complaints that was that was provided by the government, so that to protect the investor data. Okay, SOX is completely based related to the US organizations. GDPR, General Data Regulation and Protection, or Protection and Regulation, which is related to somebody collecting personal data. Something like in the US, like SSI number was there, and their name was there, and their date of birth was there, and their address was there. So if somebody was collecting these kind of details, majorly it is related to every organization, and major focus was related to delivery systems, okay, or retail systems are there, right? So whatever the retail was there, generally these GDPR was fundamentally applied, and GDPR was applicable to all. Why? Because like I'm a bank, right? I'm collecting the my account holder personal details, right? So I have to adhere to this one as well, whether it was in US or whether it was in India, whether it is in UK, whether it is in European segment, any segment, the GDPR is also applicable. This means General Data Protection Regulation Act. And there is something like HIPAA was there. Okay, HIPAA was related to health related. Okay, HIPAA was related to health related, and whatever the health related complaints was there, that will be followed by this HIPAA. And health incident, something like that will be there. And the other part was PCA DSS. PCA DSS means like it was related to majorly whoever the providing the cards were there, whoever providing the cards, and like there are some kind of gateway systems are there. Like suppose I am a merchant, and what I have to do was like I'll get the card from the customer, I'll swipe it, and I'll ask them to enter the pin, and the amount will be deducted. So like any merchant, like any merchant that they're using the like gateway systems, and we are providing the gateways, and we are like disbursing that cards are there, right? So all these organizations must have to follow the PCI DSS. First, it will include the banks first, because they are the first one, they are providing the cards, and we have something like Visa, Master, and we have American Express cards, and JCB cards will be there. Now all these cards, like we are like apart from that, there are payment gateways will be there, different payment gateways, like in our like India, UPI payments are there, and some other gateways are there. In US, like Amazon gateway is one thing, like American Express is one gateway, like all these gateways, they like PayPal is one of the gateway. Okay, so we are providing the gateway systems, payment gateway systems. All these organizations must have to follow PCI. And NIST was something like which is majorly focusing on the security aspect. Okay, security aspect, and this security aspect was uh, the first security aspect, major focusing on we are providing, like we are providing the security, and the cyber security organization will be there, and cyber security products will be there, and cyber security organizations will be there, and cyber security products will be there. Suppose I can say Cisco was there, and Cisco was majorly providing the Cisco devices for network devices, and firewalls, and all the things. And some service organization, they are saying that I will do the cyber security protection also. Like generally, the organization will different services to different service organizations, company, organize service organizations, and the NIST is very particular to we are providing the security to that particular organization, particularly security to that particular organization. And so that will be there with okay, NIST. Okay, and whatever the COBIT and COSO are there, and COBIT and COSO, these two are some kind of framework. Framework means okay, whatever the framework means, uh, framework means like instead of we have to follow some kind of template, right? So instead of like different people were writing in a different format, so COSO and COBIT was giving the direction to use what kind of template. Okay, so for doing the auditing, this was about like what are the standards are there, what are the compliances are there, we are not just learning ITGC or SOX. We have to learn all these things as a part of this course. Okay. So that's about the standards and our controls and compliances and frameworks, and all these things will be covered in this course. Okay. And coming to any doubt uh, in between this?
Yes, Bhanu. May I know like roughly how many hours it will take?
Yeah,
I mean,
generally I'll say 30 days, but
okay,
it
we
will
can
take
take it
45
as
days.
30, okay, 40.
45 days. Generally, it will take 45 days.
Okay,
I,
okay.
I'll try to complete in 30 days, but it will not happen. I have to.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
And I can I come to conclusion like why the people are going for IT auditing?
Yes, please. That is a biggest doubt.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And please elaborate upon the demands in the market, and will you be also helping us for preparation of the resume and helping with the mock interviews, something like that for the experienced professionals? So I just need to know about this part as well.
Yes, we in this uh, I will be there. I will be help you in preparing the resume. What we have to put it in the resume, so that we'll get more number of calls, and that's the reason. Like initially, I can say in the initial days, take it as a 4 month back or 5 months back. We initially put it as only SOX and ITGC, and later we came to know that ITGC, Sox, okay. So where the HR team members are there, they don't put it as ITGC and Sox. Some people they are putting it as ISMS, like while they posting the job. Okay, some people are putting it as ISO, and some people their requirement was only in the compliance of GDPR. So that's the reason they're putting it as a GDR, okay, GDPR, okay, and some organizations which they're auditing for payment card industry, okay, their service was related to PCI DSS. That is the reason, instead of because all these compliances are following the same structure, 90% of the same structure or 80 to 85% of the same structure, and process are very similar, and but the level of what we call it as the level of auditing maybe vary. Okay, I said right, ISO 27001 or ISMS was very basic, and they may not come, even though it was what we call it information security management system. But NIST is also cover the cyber security aspect majorly. It is also like information security only. But while going with ISO or ISMS, it was very basic kind of thing. If I go and do the auditing for the same process and same controls in the NIST, then I have to dig deeper. Okay, I have to dig deeper. That's how that's the reason what I understood was instead of ITGC and SOX, I have to cover all these compliances so that the people where the students are there, they'll in the resume they include all these things, and their Naukri profile also they'll include all these things so that they can get more number of calls. And apart from this, I will give some more keywords or suggestions which Naukri has to follow. Then I'll share those keywords also, so that how our resume will be coming to top. Because generally, whenever the recruiter was searching for the candidates who are available for interview, okay, what they will do, they will search, and they will filter for 40 members for a first page and another 40 for second page. They will go through 5 to 6 pages only. That means 40 into 5, 200 people. And after that, generally they don't go back. So that is the reason majority of the people will not get the calls. Okay. So that's the reason what I can say, like I'll give the keywords so that like your resume should be in the first page or second page itself. If you go beyond 6 to 7 pages, the chances of getting the calls was very less. And yes, like I'll include the keywords in the resume, and I'll include the keywords in the Naukri, all like including that, like people are asked about interview questions, right? So we have somewhere around so many interview questions. Okay, so what we call it is like so all the things, like some of the questions I will discuss in the class, and major of the questions which are related to, okay, so ITGC interview question list and IT audit interview question and answers, okay, ISO 27001 and interview questions, okay, related to PCA DSS, okay, and SOC 1 SOC 2 interview questions, okay, and their okay, and so like SOC interview questions and all these things, like I'll share, and I'll discuss the questions, and I'll like we'll do the mock interviews. Like we will spend 1 or 2 sessions only, because if I want to take all the people's mock interview, it's very difficult for us. So what we'll do, like I'll spend the time in interview questions and answers itself majority of the time, and mock interview, like based on the request or something, like we'll plan accordingly. Okay,
Hello,
because
sir.
yeah, tell me.
Hello, sir. Actually, I joined late. I'm Mohan. Okay, I'm sorry because of the traffic jam. I couldn't join. So, will there be any recorded session of this class, sir?
Yeah, I already started recording. Okay, so this will be
Okay,
shared.
okay. I have one doubt, sir. Actually, I have one doubt
Yes.
because I'm a DBA. Actually, I'm a database administrator. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm the point of contact for my audit team. Okay, I'll be very honest. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
apart from this, I'll be doing the basic audits of my department. Okay, like the basic ITGC,
Okay.
like like the backups and the
Yeah, yeah,
DR levels, and also pack group access and
yeah, yeah.
all those things. Okay,
So something like this one, right? Identity and user access management and the change management business process. Okay.
change management is approved or not, I will see.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
and apart from that, if the backups are happening or not, if it
Yeah.
is
Backup
happening,
management. Okay.
backup management, and also
And the
DR.
job scheduling were there.
Yeah, job
Interest
monitoring.
continuity and disaster recovery DR. Okay.
Yeah, if say
And
it is
incident
the
management is also there. Patch management will be there. Asset management will be there.
correct. So I do the basic auditing, and I will be sharing the details with my internal auditors, so
Generally,
that
that we call it as compliance.
yeah,
So in the GRC, like compliance, governance, risk, and compliance were there.
yeah.
Whatever the internal teams is doing is right. That we generally consider it as like compliance.
Yeah,
Whether
I cleared
our
my CISA
okay,
also,
yeah,
but
okay,
now I want to change my profile. So whether this course would be useful or not.
yeah, that should be useful, obviously.
Hmm.
And like you have some of the idea, and coming to the terminology perspective, and coming to the level of complaints that we are following. So you said that like I am following ATGC, ITAC Max, okay, and
ITAC, yeah. And apart from that, I will like I will be driving with the teams whether the databases are encrypted or not. If it is encrypted, I will take the evidence and I will give it to the audit team. So all
okay,
that.
yeah, that should be encrypted also mandatory encryption, okay. So because like encryption and masking, uh, like PCA,
Masking, we don't use masking, but we have TDE enabled
okay,
encryption when the data is in the rest.
like okay, like okay, that's fine. Like you're follow, like what kind of encryption mechanism you're following here? AES or DES? or synchronization, or how it works?
Like in the SQL Server, we use TD
Okay.
when the data is in the rest.
Okay. REST, right? Okay.
Yes,
Right. TD.
for all the high value assets. So
Yeah, obviously, right. Uh,
we,
when some like okay, so that's fine. Like so, you have idea on some of the part, and you like as a part of information security management system, you people have to focus on even security aspects as well.
okay.
Access management part, incident management part, okay, and access management, like the privileged access will be there. Okay, so that was the specific thing.
Yeah. Privilege also I take care. If the privilege
What
user is
application
there
that you're using,
in the
like in
system,
the
it has to be approved.
yeah, okay, and CyberArk or something else, what you're using?
We are from the vault
Yeah,
CyberArk
vault
and
services, CyberArk or Thycotic or Beyond Trust. Okay,
Hmm.
and some vault services will be there. Some like vault services, different vault services. Okay, Vault, VAULT. Okay, right.
One another question, since the fellow member mentioned the same thing about, because it quietly relates to my profile. So the thing is, will you be covering the security aspects like NSIT framework related to the security and the other aspects related to
Yeah, yeah.
the cloud security, the public domain and the private domain? So will you be covering that part as well? Because this is the most demanding thing in the market as of now, be it the EDR
Correct.
security or the cloud security compliances, which need to be governed or need to be taken control of. So,
Yes,
uh,
yes, yes. Like I can say in the cloud security is also, like within the cloud, if you take AWS cloud or something else, right? So there is something like VPC will be there, and there is something like S3 bucket will be there, and there is something like a web application firewall. Okay, and we have to create subnets. Okay, and we have to do the router tables, and we call it as access control lists. Okay, so all these things will be there in the cloud and even in the on-premise. Okay, so we will include both. Okay, like whatever there in the cloud
so
also.
this will be the part of the course curriculum, right?
Yes, correct.
Acha, one more thing. I'm so sorry. I'm
I can
pushing
say one
too
more
many
thing,
questions.
like to the team, like we better have to focus on security aspects majorly, because
Absolutely, absolutely.
I can say change management, incident management. I can say majority people already aware of it. Okay, and yeah,
Already industry is full of these resources, the and
yes,
change management and incident management.
yes, correct.
The less amount of resources or the jobs are majorly available for the people who are looking forward to into the security side. That's what I have seen as in research into the Naukri profile.
Yes, correct, exactly. Okay, that is the reason, like we included all these missed controls. Okay, it's something.
One more thing. One more thing. So, since I'm these days working with the auditors and compliance teams,
Mm.
uh, although no one has shared to me, but I see that JRC follows some standard template or a format of while maintaining an auditing document or set of questions.
Yes,
Probably since you are into the industry, so you might be very well versed with the same. So they have a certain set of parameters through which they analyze a team's auditing profile. So will you be helping us with the same document? Because since we will be moving ahead as an experienced professional, so we should be having an idea about how exactly this documentation works upon.
yeah, I'll do like I have to do that, because like there are something like work papers will be there. Okay, so these are Excels. Like there are some of the templates, right? Okay, so these templates we have to follow for notice stuff. Okay, so for doing this auditing kind of thing. Okay, so we'll get some kind of evidences, and we have to take these evidences, and what we have to do is like we have to, okay, backup and user provisioning were there. Right, there is audit templates will be there. The standard templates, these are all. Okay, so majority of the audit templates, like we have to follow these templates. So what is the control name, control number, name of the tester, what is the sample size, what is the sampling methodology, what is the procedure that we are following, what is the control activity, internal description, what is the test steps for there. So we have all these things, and based on that, like we will define the like what we call it as or like samples, and based on that we will write the evidence and something like that. Like we call it as opinions and reports and comments kind of thing. Okay.
Is this okay? Work papers are reviewed by the peers again. Example, we have a
They have
six-member.
to, yeah, peers have to verify.
Okay.
Have to
And
verify.
peers will verify and they will write their comments if they find
Obviously,
any fallouts.
they will write the comments instead of that. Like peer review was the peer review, right? So they will correct immediately. Once, like, suppose if you are given the template, what is this work paper template to them, like we will provide something like 70 or 17, 18 or 20 templates we are provided to him. Once we done that testing procedure, and the testing result we are published here, and we are sharing with them. Once we share with them, like within the same day, they will review their like they will share their comments, and we will correct it immediately. That's how it will happen. It is
Sir,
something.
only one small doubt, sir. Like, okay, while
Hmm.
going through this training, will you explain about the risk control matrix and also threat modeling?
I can say one thing, like risk control matrix and whatever the threat modeling was there, right? So
Hmm.
that was the what told here, right? Actually, like people in the auditing, uh,
Hmm.
the first part, like I'll discuss it, right? What is this risk, right?
Risk, yeah.
So like risk was there, and in my control, like in the course content also, the first part, what is this risk, right? Okay.
Hmm.
So I have to start with the risk itself, because like without knowing the risk, how the controls will be defined, or how the controls will be tested, and how can I confirm like whether my control was giving the security or giving the like what we call it as like protection to my system, right? So that is the reason risk control matters, threat modeling, these things, RCM or RACM,
Okay.
both. So that's
Okay.
a very
So,
basic, like, and
yeah.
in the control matrix we have to focus on two things. So what we have to focus was likelihood. What is the occurrence, right? Or likelihood, first part, and second part was impact analysis. Based on
Impact.
that, like we'll define the risk control matrix. Okay.
Okay, sure. How is the job market, sir? Like now, example, I'm a DBA and I have basic knowledge on the networking and everything. Plus addition, if I show 3 4 years of audit experience, example,
Mm-hmm.
if I tweak my resume, how is the job market for this profile?
In terms of in in terms of like openings or vacancies, or
Openings. Yeah, how is the job market?
openings are openings are good here. I can say that because uh, this is for like the one who are not going to coding first part, and this one is for the people like, who are not ready to face so much of pressure in the organization. Like you are working as an administrator, right? If
Database, yeah. Right now,
administrator
I'm
means like
I'm working on dual technology, SQL and Mongo, and Postgres is also coming
yeah,
on the way. So
yes.
it's very, very challenging for me to concentrate. That's the
And I
reason.
will tell you one more thing here. You are auditor, right? Like, so you are a administrator, and whenever
Administrative,
the
yeah,
people get any issue, they'll directly call to the administrator, because other people don't know it, right? So they'll call it any time, whoever in the shift, right? Something like that. Okay.
correct.
So that means like so after you get into the work, like you'll say that like it's a simple thing. I just have to change the 0 to 1 or something like that. But till that time, people will be in the pressure just because of the small change. And auditing job was, I can say, we need to have a patience, because we have to collect the evidences from the
Mm-hmm.
we call it as control warner we call it as process owner, or we call it as control builder, whoever it may be, or generally the general term as administrators. Okay, so we have to be having good communication skills, and we have to be I can say like maintain good rapport with the team, so that like we can get the evidences required very quick, because the evidence is the first part. Our job was, first thing, I have to know what is the process, and I have to get or collected the evidences. And on top of that, once I get the evidences based on the templates or based on the control procedure, what I have to do, I have to do the testing. Once I done the testing, then I'll write the comments. And once my comments was collected or into is a report, or we call it as the opinion. So that's our daily duty. So I first thing was like I have to get the process control procedure. That means we call it as a walkthrough. They will give the walkthrough for us. Sometimes they may not give the walkthrough because they are considering as we have the good idea better than them. So that is the reason like they will share some policies and procedure document, and we are already having some auditing experience, or we are working for some other organizations in parallel for auditing. So we will give the guidance to them by collecting the information from the other organization. We are not creating any information. We are just collecting and sharing the information with the other organizations which are not matured in the auditing compliance. Okay, we call it as auditing part, by following all these compliances and standards. Okay, so our regular job was majorly focusing on all these things. Okay, let me share that as well. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, this one, like we have to get the what are the systems that I have to audit, or what are the process that I have to audit, whether it is hardware or data or software or human resources or all these things. And I need to get the control procedure, like, or we have to get the process and policies and procedure documents from them. On top of that, they will give the walkthrough also, like what exactly their process, and what the risks are, what their controls will be there. Because before the auditing comes into picture, there is a compliance team is also there, and there is a risk team is also there, and there is a governance team is also there. Once the GRC was completed, then the audit team comes into picture. So that is the reason, like before we giving any suggestions or we ask them to define any control, governance team was there, risk team was there, compliance team was there. All these three are working as the internal teams, and we as a service auditor or system auditor, or we as independent auditing organization, we will go after the governance and risk and compliance, GRC. So that is the reason, like we will audit the previous data. What are we auditing? We are not auditing the current running data. We are auditing, suppose if I am going to audit something from 2023 January 1st to 2023 December 31st. So that means that like it was already happened, and we are auditing the data, and we are sharing the comments, and we are sharing our opinion regarding their audit. Okay, so we have to collect the evidence. So once the walkthrough was done, we will come into conclusion like what kind of information we have to collect. That's what we call it as evidences. We have to collect the evidence related to each of the process and each of the control, and we have to do the testing. So we what we call it as a testing procedure, and based on the testing procedure, we will share the comments and we will write the report. And we will not do any sign here, because we are not the certified professional, certified in terms of CA. Okay, so that is the reason certification will be done by, like attestation we call them. Attestation will be done by the manager or management team. We are doing the testing and preparing the report. and that report is reviewed by the management and having a discussion with the organizations for their internal discussion, and once that was done, they will finalize the report. So these key part, evidence collection was our part, and procedure they will explain. System description, organization will give. We just have to listen these two. And evidences they will not give readily. We have to follow up with them to get the evidences. And testing, we know the procedure and we will do the testing. And whatever the comments which are ready, we will do that. But the major time-taking process, or they will check our patience in the here. And only best part was, I can say there was no very short deadlines. I can say that. So something like they will give the work in the morning and we have to complete it by another 2 hours or another 4 hours or another day. This one is the auditing job. Auditing job will be always done with a peace mind. So that is the reason like there may not be there may not be any super hurry. They have the deadlines for sure, but the deadlines was really, I can say one thing, right? If I want to do the testing, right? For me, it may not take 3 to 4 hours. So for all the controls, it may not take not more than 15 to 20 hours. But still, I will minimum take 1 week. Okay, 1 week or 10 days minimum, because there is a process like peer review kind of things will be there. That will be take some more time, right? So that is the reason like it's a cool job, I can say, but collecting the evidences was one of the like one of the patient's job which we have it. So other than remaining things was once we get into the job and we are habituated to do the work on a regular basis for another 3 to 4 months, then you will get to know like how to get the evidence, how to do the testing in a fast manner. Because like I can say one thing, like we will not do the audit for all the samples. We call it as a population. Suppose in my organization there are around 50,000 employees for there, and I'm doing the access management auditing. So in the access management, there is something like access provisioning, access deprovisioning, okay, access provisioning, access deprovisioning, and what we call it as what we call privileged access management, password management, all the things are there. So these are all the sub process we call it as, or we call it as controls even. Okay, so in this, I can say one thing. What? So we are not doing for all 50,000 users in, or whoever join. Suppose my organization there are 1,000 people are joining, or 2,000 people are joining on a yearly basis, and 2,000 or 3,000 people are leaving in the organization. So I will not do all these 3,000 population or 2,000 population. What I will do for samples, 25 samples. Okay, I will do the maximum of 25 samples. I will do it for 25 samples only. I will not do it for all 2,000 or 3,000 samples. Okay, or we call it as a population. So that is the reason we'll get leisure time to do all these things. Okay, we'll get very leisure time. Okay, so I can say it's not a pressurized job. The thing was only we just have to spend the time. That's it. Fine. Okay. We don't have to think or like how the issue we have to resolve.
That's
So
the reason I'm switching the I'm
the majority of the people are searching for the same only. I can understand because we
not
have.
switching. Actually, I'll be very honest with you. I
Mm,
don't know your name. Sorry.
yes, Bon.
Hmm?
Bon.
Banu?
Mm,
Balu, right?
yes, Bon.
Banu, right. As a
Yes.
DBA, I'm working a lot on the weekends. You'll not
That's
believe.
the problem. Yes, yes, got it.
And weekends, it is I'm sacrificing my weekends, and again I need to sync up with all the time zones.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Daily 11 hours or about 10 hours minimum.
And that is one part. And if any priority one ticket was raised, then it was
That
very.
is then from both the sides, everyone will try to, if there is a network problem, if there is a OS problem only, first they will approach DBS only.
That's true. I know, like I know, like even I worked for support. I was like I worked as even like what we call release management team. Okay, and I worked for even for middleware administrator, right?
Oh, middleware. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I worked for WebLogic and Apache Tomcat.
Okay, okay. Because if there is a P2 or P1 from the application team, they will bang us. Even our managers will bang us. We
Yeah,
will.
yeah.
It's
Boss,
not.
like I'll tell you one thing, like if any issue which is first, if it comes into the application, first application team will say that
Database is down.
the thing our server was not working. I don't know why the latency was happening in the server side.
I know, Bhanu. So I can relate this because since you're talking about the DB and the other parts, I'm a
Yes,
storage
yes.
administrator. So I'm a
Oh,
storage administrator. so
Yeah,
so I know the effects of what an impact comes when a slowness or any latency comes to any of the user.
if there is any slowness from the storage also, right? The first fingers will be pointed towards the database because ultimately it will affect the database, right?
yeah,
True,
correct, correct.
true, true. I completely agree. I completely agree.
Until and unless if we have the evidence in the log saying some IO errors is there, right? They will not accept. But the first point they will
Yeah, yeah,
point
yeah,
is
yeah.
towards the database.
Yes, that's very true.
So Bhanu,
That's
what would be the fee? What would be the fee for this program? And it will commence on weekends or weekdays.
only weekdays. Only weekdays, 8 to 9 class session
And
exactly. This one is
timing would be
8 to 9, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Generally, it will be delayed. Okay. Official time
okay.
was 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay.
And moreover, if we since I know the duration of the course is not so elaborated, if it completes early and we wish to connect you back again in the future for any kind of issues, so can we connect you back again in the future
Sure,
for
why
any
not?
kind
Like,
of issue?
yeah, definitely, definitely. They will share what they will do. Like, they will. I'll tell you one thing. They'll create a group. Okay. So I will be there in the group. Okay.
And Banu, just help us down in preparing the resume, Banu. Like,
Yeah,
how
sure.
can I do?
Yeah, I'll definitely help.
Because I'm at the back end of the audit. I do only some basic auditing. Okay, so that thing which I do, right, it needs to be presented in the in the resume.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. No, I'll tell you one thing here. Resume and the profile which we are putting in the Naukri. Okay,
hmm.
that should be recognized by the recruiter. Okay,
That's what.
that should be recognized because the work was different and interview cracking was different. Interview cracking, I can say, always different.
So, Bhanu, if you don't mind, you are working with a product-based company, Big Four, or service-based industry? If you don't mind to share.
No, I'm working for the service auditing company, okay? Not Big Four. Okay.
Okay. Big Four, correct?
No, no, no. I'm not working for Big Four. I
Okay.
worked for
Okay.
previously. For now, I'm not working for Big Four. I'm working for service auditor company. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So it's a small
So,
one. Okay, I can say.
does Big Four has a very rigid interview process in terms of this
No,
auditing
no,
profile?
no, no, no. Big Four was very easy, I can say. Why? Because like they're majorly focusing on communication. I'm 100% sure. Because they have ample of resources in the internal. Okay, so that is the reason like what they'll focus on, like because whatever the templates and whatever the procedures and all these things which they already have it in the organization, that is the reason what they will focus will be, their focus will be on our communication majorly, and they will their focus will be on your approach related to identifying the risk. or your approach related to how you are tackling the customer. Okay. And their interview question answers are very simple, I can say.
Oh, even for the senior roles, because since my experience is almost 10 plus years, so I'm not sure how much they'll grill me in terms of interview if I appear for an interview within any of the organizations. I'm not sure how much they will grill me upon the audit part. That is
Yeah, then I'll tell you. That's the thing, right? Like I was included all these compliances just because of that one only. Okay, so because like people, suppose if I put something like ITGC, ITGC and SOX, okay, definitely the interviewer will ask you what exactly they will ask you. Like they will ask you like you just worked on only these three compliances. You didn't work on PCDSS, you didn't work on NIST, or you didn't work on GDPR. Something like they're asking. So that is the reason. So because we have minimum of 4 to 5 years on auditing itself, right? So that means that like we have to answer all their scenarios. So some of these scenarios will be in ISMS, and some of these scenarios will be in GDPR, and some of these scenarios will be PCDSS, and some of these scenarios from the NIST. Okay, so because you have minimum 4 to 5 years of experience, right? So just because of that, like they will expect, like suppose if this guy will come, if this guy will come, like he will at least look into the remaining parts of the compliances. Okay, he will at least look into. Okay, so that like we will like project this guy to the client. Okay, end of the day our job will be same. I'm surely saying
got it.
that at the end of the day our job was same. But if you don't know the compliance, or if you don't know what really they cover in this compliance, okay, then you nobody was ready to take that opening, right, or opportunity. Suppose if I'm working on SOX and they ask me about there is a NIST related complaints was there for one of the client. Can you handle this? Then what I will say, no, I'm not having the experience, strong experience in cyber security, because NIST means majorly focusing on cyber security controls. Like
Right, right, right,
I
right.
handle it. That's it. So that is the reason how I'm saying, like what I'm saying was like, so I will just cover all these things.
So, how much this certification plays a pivotal role in cracking the interview, like ISO 27001 and the other
Lead
certification?
auditor certification will be good if you have it. If you are
CISA I
working,
cleared, Bhanu, 2 years back.
CISA.
And yes, I cleared CISA.
Okay, that's fine. And that was the first part. That was the first part. Like what I can say, like uh, you can directly take the lead auditor certification. Okay,
Yeah. ISO 21, like
27,001 lead auditor.
3-4 years back, I have done that. Actually, I have done that, but somehow I didn't change my profile. I was in DBA only. Now I thought it's the
Yeah, if you have both the certification, that's major thing. But I have a concern, right? Right now, like ISO, it was following ISO 27001 slash 2022. Okay,
yes.
so it was started from 2022.
Hmm.
Uh,
Right.
if you are done your certification in 2013, then 2013 certification. That means like if you done it on 2020, so
Mhm.
the certification was related to 2013.
Okay. Okay.
So you can say that like I did it in 2013. I am planning to do it in 2022. Okay.
Any bridge course or any upgrades any institutes will provide, right? Or completely new I have to enroll.
No, no, no. Like there are two parts here. Like there are some institutes majorly focusing on these ISO certification. So that part I'll like you can take up from them, and you can reimburse in the your company.
No, because I'm into DBA group, right?
Then
They
it's
will not
from
reimburse.
your pocket only. Like in ISO lead certification, generally like they will take 25 to 30,000. I can say
Oh, okay.
25 to 30K.
Okay,
Okay.
I will show that. Yeah, once I get into that profile, I will ask the company to
Yeah, definitely.
reimburse. That's better.
Like this one is the only I will suggest. Remaining all these certifications I will not suggest, because certification I am not ready to suggest the people to take it from your pocket. Okay,
Correct,
because
correct.
end of the day it will be useful for the organization itself. Okay, so if you go for an interview, they will definitely ask the questions. Not just by seeing their certification, they will not give the job, right? So
Correct,
that's the
correct,
reason,
correct, correct.
certification will be an add-on, but not the like it's not the cracker. Okay, so that's the reason interview questions and the part will be more focused for me.
To
And
be honest, Banu, I thought CISA would be very tricky, but with my experience, because I have around 16, 17 years of experience in the DBA field, right? I was a system administrator initially, then I became a DBA. CISA interview, sorry, the exam questions was very straightforward and it was very simple for me.
yeah, yeah, that's what I told you, right?
Uh,
That was the first certification people will do, but I suggest directly go to the lead like lead architect. Okay, so lead
But I
architect.
heard compared to ISO, CISA, ISACA certifications are more valued. So I have done both.
Yeah, okay. And like I can say one more thing. Like some organizations are there which are majorly focusing on cyber security aspects. Okay, so they will consider this one first.
Which
ISAC,
one? ISACA. ISACA. Okay.
ISAC they will consider as bit little bit useful for them.
Yeah, because some
Yeah,
RBI also recognizes ISACA only because for the banking, right? Some audits will be done for the bank, right?
yes.
Their policy says that the auditor should be ISACA certified. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm deviating from the
Yeah, yeah,
topic.
yeah. Like, one more thing I can tell you, what I can say, auditing companies are different. I can say always.
Hmm.
Security companies are different, and service companies are different. We
Okay.
are auditing company. Auditing company not much aware of about the cyber security. Okay,
Hmm.
so that's the reason. Like sometimes they are not. They'll not consider ISAC as a serious application.
Hmm.
So, but if the client was related to cyber security, then they will first ask, because client will ask this.
Hmm.
Guy, I am doing the cyber security support for the organization. I need the ISACA first. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So that's how
So,
they
yeah,
are.
so that's what I have seen in the job profiles as well.
Hmm.
While my research, that ISO 20001 is more preferable for the cybersecurity roles,
Hmm.
followed by CISSP. So
Yeah.
majority of the cybersecurity roles, which is currently being there in the Naukri, are currently requiring these two skills: the ISO 27001 and CISSP with NIST framework. That
Yes.
is
Yes.
the
This is for the completely, I believe, technical role. If it is purely for the IT auditing role, right, then CISA is preferred, if I'm not wrong.
Like your certification was auditing directly,
Correct,
and
correct.
whatever that Agarwal was saying was like that was related to your exposure in cyber security.
Oh, okay,
right,
okay. Yeah, yeah. I
right.
also started preparing. Like I thought of preparing for CSSP, but I thought, let me change my profile once. After that, I'll prepare for CSP. Then it will make sense.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. That's fine. Like the certification was there, it's good. If the certification was not there, it's not a problem. Make sure that like we have the experience, like we are able to crack the interview. The first part is that one. Okay, and
So,
once we get into the organization, we have to do our work at least, because if you
correct,
are
correct.
supporting the people, that's the next part. First thing
We
was like,
need all your help, Bano, in cracking the interview and also in.
Bhanu, so you mentioned about three type of organization: the service-based, the auditing-based companies, and probably the cybersecurity companies. So
yes, yes.
my question is, are the interview process for these roles remains the same for all three of them, or there is some minor or major difference in cracking any of them? I see the service based would be the easiest one. That my thought is.
that depends upon the one who are taking the interview. Okay, so like if service auditor company guy was joined in the service organization company,
Mm-hmm.
like auditor company people was joined into the service organization company, then the things will be changed, right?
I got
So
it. I
like the one whoever taking the interview are the focused one. Okay, so that's the reason, like, forget about all these things. I'll say one thing: we are doing the auditing and auditing of data, auditing of information communication technology.
correct.
So we have to remember the things related to information communication technology and the risk associated with it, and testing procedure and walkthrough processes, controls, control design, control testing, control monitoring, and redesigning the control. So all the things I will discuss. Okay.
Bhanu, you will discuss about like all right, ITGC and also ITAC and also SOX, right? Main thing.
What ECDSS, GDPR, all part I will complete.
Oh, okay.
Because I'll tell you one thing, like we are putting in experience of 4 to 5 years, right, minimum.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you're saying that, like, I worked on ITGC, which is
Mhm.
related to program to change, program development and backup and operations and access management. Is will say that if you go with the SOX, they'll focus on what they call it as change management, operations, security, and the other part. Okay, so you cannot say more than these, right? Then definitely they will ask, like, you did it only these one. You have 5 years of experience and you did only these 4 to 8 controls only, or 4 to 8 processes only. They'll ask like that. So that is the reason my suggestion was, so learn all the things. A little bit change will be there, but remaining part all will be same.
Sure.
I'll I'll tell you the ISMS and ISO 27001, so that one access management. I'll show you directly, right? If I say I know what is this, if I say I know identity and access management, that means that I know all these things, right? So I'll set that like it's a one. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is related to 6 controls. If I go to this one, right? If I go to this one, like change management will cover something like 8 to 9 controls. Okay. If I go with backup and operations, then it will cover minimum of 4 to 5 controls. If I go with the patch management, it will cover some of that. So something like that, we have to read somewhere around 70 controls. We have to read minimum of 70 controls. Okay. So that's what I want to focus on, because if you go to the interview, you said that, like, I have a change management experience, I have an incident management experience, I have asset management experience, I have something like backup operations only. They will say that, like, you have 5 years of experience and you just worked on only these things. They will ask like that. So that is the reason, like, before they asking, uh, we have to guide them, right? We have to guide them. Guy, I have around 70 controls. I have an experience of 70 controls. So you can ask anything, I'll tell you like that. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Any more? Like, it's already 9:50, something like that.
Oh, sorry. The fees part.
Yeah. Yes, tell me.
Bhanu, the fees. What would be the fees for this
Fees
program?
part, like fees, Venkat was said it, right? Venkat, what he said, was like it was 15K. It's a standardized price. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. So, okay. Can you someone else?
So the class started officially from Bhanu?
Maybe no. We can start by maybe on another 2 days. Okay. So
Like
right now,
from Monday
yeah,
onwards, like, we can say.
yeah, we can consider it as Monday onwards. Okay.
Yes, Banu. Earlier you have raised a question, right? Like why people are choosing this ITGC? Like everyone in this call having this same doubt,
Yeah.
like something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we discuss on that, because it's been a long deviation from that point.
Yeah, tell me.
I'm expecting you from regarding that.
Okay.
Like why people are choosing this ITGC? This.
Yeah, okay. పృథ్వీ నీకు తెలుగే కదా?
తెలుగు.
పృథ్వీ, యాక్చువల్గా ఏమవుతుందంటే నవర్ డేస్ గైస్, రిమైనింగ్ గైస్ ఆల్రెడీ చెప్పాను, ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ ఐ వాంట్ టు లెట్ హిమ్ నో. నవర్ డేస్ ఏమవుతుందంటే యాక్చువల్గా అజైల్ స్క్రమ్ మెథడాలజీ వచ్చేసింది అన్నిటిలోకి. వీఆర్ లైక్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ ఇంక్లూడింగ్ లోకో టూల్స్ పర్టికులర్గా. సో ఇవన్నీ ఉండడం వల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే, ఇదివరకు మాకు టీం ఎలా ఉండేదంటే, ఒక అప్లికేషన్ డెవలప్ చేస్తుంటే ఒక 20-25 మంది జావా డెవలపర్స్ ఉండేవాళ్ళు, ఒక 6 to 7 మెంబర్స్ టెస్టర్స్ ఉండేవాళ్ళు. అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ టీంకి ఏమో ఒక 3 to 4 మెంబర్స్ అని ఉండేవారు. అందుకని ఏంటంటే ఇంతమందిని మేనేజ్ చేయడానికి లీడ్లు, వాళ్ళకి ఆర్కిటెక్ట్, వాళ్ళకి ఒక మేనేజర్ అని ఎక్స్ట్రా ఉండేవారు. దగ్గరగా 26 మెంబర్ టీం వల్ల 30 మంది టీం అయింది నాకు. అండ్ డెడ్ లైన్స్ ఎలా ఉండి అంటే మంత్లీ ఒక రిలీజ్ వెళ్ళింది. బట్ నవ్ డేస్ ఏమవుతుందంటే వీక్లీ రిలీజ్ వెళ్ళిపోతుంది, 2 weeks ఒకసారి రిలీజ్ వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. యూజర్ స్టోరీస్ పొద్దునిస్తే సాయంత్రానికల్లా అప్డేట్ అడుగుతున్నారు. అంటే క్లోజ్ అయిపోవాలి, అప్డేట్ కాదు అది. మార్నింగ్ వర్క్ ఇస్తే ఈవినింగ్, ఓకేనా? సో ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఏపీఎనో, లేదంటే పెగానో, లేదంటే ఆర్పిఏ బ్లూ ప్రిజము, లేదంటే ఇలాంటి టూల్స్ ఉన్నాయి, లోకో టూల్స్ అయినా. ఓకేనా? అట్లకి ఏంటంటే పొద్దున్న వర్క్ ఇస్తే సాయంత్రానికి అప్డేట్ అడిగేస్తున్నారు. అంటే ప్రతిరోజు టెన్షన్ ఉంటుంది అన్నమాట అందరికీ. సో ఇంత టెన్షన్ ఫేస్ చేయడానికి అదేంటి కదా, కొంతమంది అంటే కొంచెం ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్కి వచ్చిన తర్వాత రెడీగా లేరు చాలా మంది. సో అందుకే ఏమవుతుందంటే ఎక్కువ మంది షిఫ్ట్ అవుతున్నారు. సో అది వాళ్ళ పర్స్పెక్టివ్లో. అంటే రోజు ఈ అప్డేట్ లేంటారు బాబు, ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఎంత టూల్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఉన్నా టూల్ ఏదైనా చిన్నది మనకు రాకపోతే ఇక అది ఆ రోజు క్లోజ్ చేసేయాలి అంతే. నైట్ ఏ టైం అయినా కూర్చొని క్లోజ్ చేయాల్సి వస్తుంది. సో టెక్నికల్గా ఎంత సౌండ్ ఉన్నా ప్రతి లోకో టూల్ లో గంటకు అప్డేట్ ఇస్తున్నాడు.
ఓకే, అంటే నా డౌట్ ఏంటంటే, ఇప్పుడు చాలా టెక్నాలజీస్ అనేవి బయట మార్కెట్ లో ఉన్నాయి. సో వాటన్నిటి మీద ఇది ఎలా డిఫరెన్షియేట్ అవుతుంది, ఇది ఎలా స్టాండ్ బై అవుతుంది? అంటే యాజ్ ఎ ప్రాసెస్ మీరు ఆల్రెడీ ఇంతకుముందు చెప్పారు, నాకు గుర్తుంది. అంటే ఇది లెక్క, అంటే నో టూల్ అనే టూల్ బేస్డ్ అయితే కాదు, ఇది ప్రాసెస్ బేస్డ్ కెరియర్ లాగా అనేది చెప్పారు, గుర్తుంది.
ప్రాసెస్ బేస్డ్ ఒకటి, ఓకేనా? అంటే ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ఏంటంటే ఆ ప్రొఫెసర్కి రెడీగా లేదు. ఇంకొకటి ఏంటంటే లక్కీగా అర్థమైంది కదా, ఈ కంప్లైన్స్ నెక్స్ట్ లెవెల్లో వచ్చిన ఆడిటింగ్ ఏదైతే ఉందో ఇది రాను బాగా పెరుగుతుంది అనమాట. ఇది వరకు అర్థమైంది కదా, ఇంత కంట్రోల్స్ ఫాలో అయ్యేవారు కాదు. ఇప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే యాక్చువల్లీ ప్రతి కంపెనీ, సపోజ్ ఒక చిన్న కంపెనీకి ఏదైనా ప్రాజెక్ట్ కావాలనుకో, వాళ్ళు ఏ బేస్ మీద ట్రస్ట్ చేయాలి? నా డేటా దగ్గర పెడితే వాళ్ళు ఏదైనా అమ్మేసుకుంటే నేనేం చేయాలి? ఇప్పుడు నేను ఒక హెచ్ఎస్బి బ్యాంక్ ఉంది నా దగ్గర, వాళ్ళు చిన్న పెద్ద బ్యాంక్, వాళ్ళు ప్రాజెక్టులు పెద్ద కంపెనీలు కాకుండా చిన్న కంపెనీలు కూడా వస్తారు, ఎందుకంటే ఆ బ్యాంకుల మీద అన్ని కంపెనీలు బతకాలి. మనకి చిన్న కంపెనీ నుంచి ఆ కంపెనీకి పనిచేస్తున్న వాళ్ళు, నేను చిన్న కంపెనీకి ఇస్తే వాళ్ళ కనుక నా డేటాని అమ్మేస్తే అప్పుడు నేను ఎవరిని అడగాలి? నా కస్టమర్ నన్ను అడుగుతాడు కదా, నా మీద కోర్టులో కేసు చేస్తారు నా కస్టమర్. వాళ్ళు అంటే నేను ఏ బేస్ మీద అమ్మాను, రేపు పొద్దున కోర్టులోకి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు నేను చెప్పుకోవాలి కదా, ఇదిగోండి నేను వాళ్ళ దగ్గర రిపోర్ట్ ఉంది, నా దగ్గర ఇదిగో నా సాక్ రిపోర్ట్ ఇచ్చాను, లేదంటే నా ఐఎస్ఓ రిపోర్ట్ ఇచ్చాను మీకు, ఐఎస్ఓ రిపోర్టు నేను బయట సర్వీస్ ఆడిటర్తో చేయించుకున్నాను కాబట్టి అది అందులో నా మిస్టేక్ ఏం లేదు ఇంకా.
ఓకే,
అంటే అలాగా వాళ్ళు ప్రూవ్ చేసుకోవడానికి కంపల్సరీ వాళ్ళ దగ్గర ఆడిట్ రిపోర్ట్ ఉండాలి. ఆడిట్ రిపోర్ట్ లేకపోతే ఇన్సూరెన్స్ లేకుండా కార్ యాక్సిడెంట్ అయితే ఎలా ఉంటుందో అలా ఉంటుంది అనమాట.
ఓకే, గాట్ ఇట్.
అందుకనే రాను ప్రతి కంపెనీ ఇదివరకు అసలు ఒక్క ఐఎస్ఓ 27001 చేస్తేనే ఎక్కువ అందరికీ. ఇప్పుడు మొత్తం అందరూ ఆల్మోస్ట్ అన్ని చేంజ్ చేస్తున్నారు ఎలాగోలాగా, ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ రిలేటెడ్ టు దేర్ బిజినెస్. చాలా అంతే.
భాను గారు, ఇప్పుడు నేను ఐటీ ఆడిట్ లో ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఒక నెక్స్ట్ 3-4 months లైక్ మీ గైడెన్స్ మీతోని లైక్ ఐ వాజ్ ఏబుల్ టు క్రాక్ సమ్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ అండ్ ఐటీ ఆడిటర్ లాగా వచ్చాను. ఐటీ ఆడిటర్ లాగా వచ్చి కూడా మళ్ళీ నేను క్లౌడ్ సెక్యూరిటీ ఆ వైపు కూడా మూవ్ అవ్వచ్చు కదా, లైక్ అప్గ్రేడ్ అయ్యి.
అసలు నేను చెప్పాలంటే మనం అన్ని ప్రాసెస్ ఆడిట్ చేస్తాం, సెక్యూరిటీ మీద ఉంటుంది నాకు.
ఓకే,
అందుకని నాకు ఫైర్ వాల్ ఆడిట్ చేస్తానంటే ఫైర్ వాల్ పాలసీలు నాకు ఐడియా ఉండాలి కదా లైట్ గా.
రైట్. ఒక
అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ టైం నాకు ఏం తెలియదు, జస్ట్ వాళ్ళు ఏమి ఇచ్చారు దాన్ని టిక్ పెట్టుకుని వెళ్ళిపోతాను. బట్ రెండోసారి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు వాళ్ళతో పాటు కూర్చుంటాను కాబట్టి
నేను
కంపల్సరీ
కూడా ఎందుకు చూస్ చేసుకున్నానంటే బాను ఫ్రాంక్ గా చెప్తున్నాను, యాజ్ ఎ డిబిఏ నాకు అన్ని దాని మీద ఐడియా వచ్చింది. లైక్ హౌ స్టోరేజ్ వర్క్స్, హౌ ది ఫైర్ వాల్ వర్క్స్, హౌ ది చెక్ పాయింట్స్, మళ్ళీ హౌ ది ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్, నెక్స్ట్ అబౌట్ ది ఐడెంటిటీ అండ్ యాక్సెస్ మేనేజ్మెంట్, ఆల్ దోస్ థింగ్స్. I'll be interacting with all the teams అన్నమాట.
కరెక్ట్.
సో అందుకోసము ఐ థాట్ డిబిఏ కాకుండా నేను నెక్స్ట్ ఏం చేయాలి అనుకుంటే ఐ థాట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ థింగ్, బికాస్ ఐ విల్ బి ఇంటరాక్టింగ్ విత్ ఆల్ ద టీమ్స్, యాక్టివ్ డైరెక్టరీ టీమ్, విత్ ద డిఎన్ఎస్ టీమ్.
ఓకే, డిఎన్ఎస్ టీమ్ తో కూడా ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవుతారు. అవును, ఓకే, డిఎన్ఎస్ రైట్ డిఎన్ఎస్ టీమ్ తో కూడా ఇంటరాక్ట్ అయ్యారు.
Because sometimes it will work with IP but not with the host name or with the DN name. Then
పని చేయట్లేదు అంటే రిజల్వ్ అవ్వట్లేదు.
Then we need to work with DNS team. అవన్నీ. సో
మీరు ఇంకా టైం పెట్టి ఏదైనా సరదాగా సైబర్ సెక్యూరిటీ కాన్సెప్ట్ నేర్చుకుంటే ఇంకా బాగుంటది.
నేను యాక్చువల్లీ నా ప్లాన్ ఏమంటే గారు, ఈ ఐటీ ఆడిట్ లో వచ్చాక ఐ వాంట్ టు ప్రిపేర్ ఫర్ CISSP. ఎందుకంటే ఒకసారి నేను ఐ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ డబుల్. ఒకసారి ఇది క్రాక్ చేశాక కొంచెం మనము ఆ డొమైన్ లో వస్తాము, అప్పుడు CISSPకి ప్రిపేర్ అవుతే ఇట్ మేక్ సమ్ సెన్స్.
ఇప్పుడు మళ్ళీ ఆ టీమ్స్ ఇంకా ఇంటరాక్షన్ పెరుగుతుంది కదా బాగా.
నాకంటే నేను CISSP నేను ఆల్రెడీ ఒకసారి బుక్ చదివాను, అండ్ ఉడిమిలో కూడా నేను ఎన్రోల్ అయ్యి నేను కంప్లీట్ చేశాను. బట్ నేను మళ్ళీ మీరు చెప్పినట్లు ఐ డోంట్ వాంట్ వేస్ట్ మనీ. ఒకసారి ఆ టీమ్ లో వచ్చాక ఫ్రీగా చేయాలి.
నేను అసలు సజెస్ట్ చేయను, అంటే మన డబ్బులు పెట్టుకుని సర్టిఫికేట్ చేయడానికి అసలు సజెస్ట్ చేయను.
బట్ ఇట్ హస్ గివెన్ మీ గుడ్ ఐడియా. CISSP
అది మీ పర్సనల్ హ్యాపీనెస్ అది. అదే ఎందుకంటే బేసిక్ గా నేను అంటే ఓకే, సో ఫర్ ఆల్ ది గైస్ ఐ విల్ సజెస్ట్ వన్ మోర్ థింగ్. Whether you joined, like whether you moved to the organization or whether you are changing the organization or not, it's not a matter. Make sure that every year you learn at least one course.
Correct.
Make sure that whether it is useful or not, no matter. Whether it was relevant or not, no matter. Make sure that you are learning at least one course in a year. That should give added advantage when you are moving to the like management side.
Correct.
And one more suggestion to everyone was like, if you're working in an organization, so in the appraisal, they will ask like what extra you did it for the organization. So the best part we can do it is give the training. Whether the people are listening or not, forget about it. Give the training. That's the first part I can say. So in the same way, we can write in your resume, I given the training for the internal team, and I mentor the resources, because you are the training, right? That means that like at least given the minimum mentorship, right? So that you can get the promotions and like what are the hikes. So that will give the extra part for you. So anyway, team, like okay, so it's already 10. That's fine. So we'll have a discussion on maybe tomorrow or maybe on Monday. That's fine, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, will the course same time it will be there?
I'm not sure. Like Venkat will confirm that whether he planned for another demo or whether he is continuing with the course. So Venkat will confirm. So he will share the details in the WhatsApp tomorrow also. Okay. Okay. Yeah, fine.
Thanks for your patience, Bhanu, for answering.
Have to be patient in the auditing. Okay.
Thanks for your patience.
I can say
Thanks
that.
for the patience. Thank you for the patience, Bhanu. Really appreciate your help and your guidance. Thank you.
Yes, Bhanu garu, 1 second. నేను ఆల్రెడీ సేమ్ ఛానల్లో ఒక 2-3 ట్రైనర్స్ ఒక డెమోస్ నేను అబ్జర్వ్ చేశాను, ఆల్రెడీ విన్నాను. నేను ఎస్పెషల్లీ మీది ఒకటే నేను రిక్వెస్ట్ చేశాను, వెంకట్ గారిని కానీ సంథింగ్ ఎవరో మా పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ కాంటాక్ట్.
ఓకే.
సో అంటే మీ వే ఆఫ్ టీచింగ్ అయితే బాగుంది. అంటే ఏమనిపించింది అంటే రియల్ టైమ్ లో మనం గెటిన్ అవ్వగలుగుతాం అనే కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ అయితే కలిగించింది.
థ్యాంక్స్ ఫర్ దట్. ఓకే.
మీరే
సో
టొమాటో పృథ్వీ గారు.
మేమా అదే మీరు ఇంకా అసలు నా దగ్గర రాలేదని నేను థింక్ చేస్తున్నాను. అసలు మీరు వచ్చిన తర్వాత నుంచే 1 hour ఎక్స్టెండ్ అయిపోయింది. అదే నేను షాకింగ్ లో ఉన్నా.
నిజం, అదైతే నిజం.
అదే భాను గారు, అంటే మీరు చెప్పలేరు, నేను చెప్పాను అంతే.
సారీ, నేనేమైనా
లేదు అంటే మీ లాంటి ఉండాలి.
నాట్ ఇన్ నెగటివ్ ఆస్పెక్ట్.
అంతే మీ లాంటి ఉండాలి. అవును, కరెక్ట్. అంటే మీరు ఐ మీన్ టు అప్లికేషన్ ప్యాకేజింగ్.
Okay.
Application like Windows apps deployments.
We can do one thing, you, me, and PA. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, what is his name?
Prajapati something.
Pranjal Agrawal.
Pranjal Agrawal. हम लोग we can form as a group and we can prepare for the interview questions, and we will.
We can practice along with each other, and
we can try our best to crack the interview and to get into
probably, yes.
But above all this, we need bonus support. Okay, that's the main task.
Bhanu is our L3 Bhanu is our L4 L5 support. First we need to appear till L3.
Yeah, that's fine. But let me consider as a L1 or L2, something like that. But okay, I am ready and I will take all the things like whatever you people are showing. I mean, what guidance what you are providing from your end. ఎస్ భాను గారు, అదే అండి మీ దగ్గర నుంచి ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేసేదే. సో నేను అందుకే ఈరోజు ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఆల్రెడీ మీరు చాలా ఐడెంటిఫై చేశారు. ఐ మీన్ మీరు మొన్న ఒక జాయిన్ అయ్యారు కదా అనేసి కూడా చెప్పారు. నేను అయినా 2 hours కూడా ఎందుకున్నానంటే మీ వే ఆఫ్ ఇది టీచింగ్ కోసమే నేను ఉన్నాను. మామూలుగా యాక్చువల్ గా నాకు షిఫ్ట్ ఎండ్ అయ్యేది 11 PM వరకు. బట్ ఇన్ బిట్వీన్ మై ఆఫీస్ అవర్స్ ఐ ఆమ్ విత్ యూ సింప్లీ.
నేను ఒకటైతే కన్ఫర్మ్ గా చెప్పగలను. అదేంటంటే యాక్చువల్ గా ఐ లింక్ ఆల్ ద థింగ్స్. ఓకే, ఐ ట్రై టు లింక్ యాజ్ మెనీ యాజ్ పాసిబుల్.
ఆ కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ మాకు వచ్చింది. అంటే మీరు ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్రాక్ చేసే పర్స్పెక్టివ్ లో మనల్ని ప్రిపేర్ చేయగలిగారు అంటే ఆటోమేటిక్ గా ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ద డే మనం చేసే వర్క్ అనేది ఎవరు చూసింది కాదు, చేసింది కాదు. మనం దాన్ని బేస్డ్ ఆన్ మనం ఏం చేయలేం. ఓకే, మనం ఫస్ట్ గెట్ ఇన్ అవ్వాలంటే మనం ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్రాక్ చేయాలి.
ఫస్ట్ పార్ట్.
యా, దట్ ఈస్ ద మెయిన్ టార్గెట్, రైట్? ఎవరికైనా సరే, మీకైనా, ఇంక్లూడింగ్ యూ ఆల్సో, ఎవరికైనా అదే. సో దాని గురించి మనం ప్రియారిటైజ్ చేయాలి, దాని గురించి మనం ఎఫర్ట్స్ పెట్టాలి. తర్వాత వర్క్ అనేది బేస్డ్ ఆన్ అవర్ ఫేట్ ఆర్ సంథింగ్ లైక్ దట్.
వర్క్ వి కెన్ లర్న్.
సో ఆ పాయింట్కి వెళ్ళాలంటే ఫస్ట్ మనం ఇది క్రాక్ చేయాలని నేను నా ఉద్దేశం, అంతే. ఇంకా అది రైట్ కావచ్చు, రాంగ్ కావచ్చు, ఇక భాను గారు డిసైడ్ చేయాలి. అది
నేను డిసైడ్ కాదు, కంపల్సరీ ఫస్ట్ పార్టే కదా. ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్రాక్ చేయకుండా నేను కంపెనీ మారిపోయి వేరే కంపెనీకి వెళ్ళిపోయాను.
అందుకనే మిమ్మల్ని చూస్ చేసుకున్నాం నా ఉద్దేశం, అది ఇంకేం లేదు.
నైస్. ఓకే, యా, ఓకే. So let's connect on tomorrow as well. Okay, we'll connect on that. Okay,
sure అండి. Okay,
like PA or Agarwal, okay, Mohan and Prithvi and where were they? Okay. Yeah, and my class will be on mostly in English, and sometimes it required I will go to the bilingual. Okay.
Yeah. ఏదైనా ఓకే అండి, పర్లేదు. ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye. I'll be tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Yes.